Lovely. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all again. See you. So I am Fred, for those of you who are new to the group, not sure. But yeah, I'm Fred. I come from the AIM group, but I'm also here on behalf of the National Apprenticeship Service. And today what we're going to do is look at the local labour market information. And I'm going to show you some websites where you can register to look and find those apprenticeships. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. You can come off mic, or if you want to, you can type it in the chat, and then Miss Austin will read them out loud to me. So feel free to stop me at any time during this. Yesterday we had some great sessions, and you were all very talkative. Don't know, again, if you are a different group, assume you're probably the same as yesterday. So you know, you can ask questions. Those of you who are watching this on record, you can get in touch again with your careers team if you have any questions, and I'm more than happy to come back and answer any questions that you have. Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Right, so bear with me. There you go. Okay, so now officially I can't see you anymore. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and then Miss Austin will read them out loud to me. Right, if this. Oops, there we go. Okay, so I hope you can see that. Okay.
Yeah, yes, we can.
Oh, perfect. Lovely. Thank you. So as I said, today what we're going to do is looking at what is available locally. And I'm going to show you a couple of websites where you can go, where you can register your interest. And we're going to look at different ways of trying to find those apprenticeships. Now, as we spoke a little bit about yesterday, as I mentioned, with apprenticeships, it is very different from applying for university or college. So with university, you tend to have everything on the UCAS website. You can apply for your university, have a look at all the information on there, and it's one straightforward sort of application that you need to do. With an apprenticeship, as I said, it's like applying for a real job. So the recruitment process is very different, and we ran through that a little bit yesterday. So what you will find is that employers have, they advertise for apprenticeship at different times of the year. They can advertise throughout the year, okay, and they tend to do that. So different sectors advertise at different times of the year, and they have a different recruitment processes. So I said some of them may have a short recruitment process where you only have to do one application and an interview. Some have longer recruitment processes where you have to also do assessment, attend sort of a day trial, so quite a longer one. It depends on the kind of sector and the kind of employer that you're going for, okay? But you can find that information on their careers page on the website. So remember, everyone, what I told you yesterday, make sure you do plenty of research on that employer so you can really have a look at their recruitment process and how they actually recruit for their apprentices or their employees. Okay, so because of COVID-19, I know that some of you are a little bit worried, and that's absolutely normal regarding apprenticeship and what is available at the moment because of COVID-19. Now, I'll be honest with you, last year when COVID first sort of started and we had our first lockdown, it was very tricky. A lot of employers kind of had to close. A lot of employers weren't sure what was going on, so they all kind of stopped recruiting. So we did find that a lot of apprenticeships stopped at that time, and there was a big pause for a little while. However, around the summertime, things started to improve. Then the government decided to actually provide incentives and bonuses for employers who take on apprentices and trainees. So you will find that employers can gain between £1,000 to £3,000 per apprentice that they take on. So you will find that a lot of employers have started doing that and taking on more apprentices, which is why the number has increased quite a bit since the first lockdown, and things seem to be looking back like they were before COVID. Now, you will find that some employers, some sectors were affected more than others. So things like, for example, retail, the high street where shops are, not retail supermarkets, those were quite affected because of COVID. Also, we all know hospitality and the leisure and the travel were also quite sort of affected because of the COVID situation. But other sectors have really not thrived, but yes, they have increased the amount of apprentices because of the workload that they had to take on because of the COVID-19. So things like the agriculture, really the demand was a lot higher, and therefore they needed more employees and more apprentices to come on board. The retail, when I mean that one, I mean the supermarket retail. So we have noticed that a lot of those big chains, supermarkets, were staying open for longer because, of course, they were the only thing open, and therefore they needed more staff. There was a lot more demand. Distribution was another big one. So don't know if I told you this before, guys, but Amazon is taking on loads of apprentices. Royal Mail as well offers some amazing apprenticeships. Amazon was looking to take on apprentices not only for the distribution side, but also for the IT department, the marketing department. So a lot of other sort of jobs and apprenticeships in the back as well were available, which were really well paid as well, to be honest. So worth having a look at those particular employers. Again, with Royal Mail, yes, distribution, but they also do a lot of engineering apprenticeships. You probably find that really odd, but actually they do, because they have their own vans to maintain. So there's a lot of engineering apprenticeships available through Royal Mail as well. And again, they're really well, salary-wise, they're really good. Of course, the healthcare is another really big one that had to take on more employees and more apprentices because, of course, of the COVID-19, a lot more demand was a lot higher. We all know that. And I'll tell you, I even found that the NHS was advertising on TV for apprentices because of the high demand and the support that they needed. So again, healthcare, not just the public and so the NHS, but also private healthcare were looking, and they're still looking. That's always on high demand. So again, it's another really good sector to get into. Again, it's not just nursing and doctors, guys. There's lots of different roles that you can do through the NHS. There's a lot of admin roles. There's a lot of support roles as well, a lot of leadership roles. There's loads of great things that you can do. My sister, I think I told you this one before, she worked as an apprentice for Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge, and she did the reprographics apprenticeships, and now she's a photographer. So it just goes to show that just because you're working on a hospital, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going down the nursing or doctor route, okay? There's lots of roles available. Telecommunication is another really big one, again, and the online services. So BT, again, they've always been really big and taking on apprentices, but they also, the demand is increased, of course, because of the way we are communicating. There's been a lot of demand. Therefore, again, they needed more people. So these sectors have really increased the amount. So these are really good to look at when it comes to searching those employers to see what is available in the area. So it's worth thinking about what is going on at the moment, what companies are doing well and others that maybe not so. What kind of sector could you go in because it's doing well with the current situation? So these are some of the really big ones. But as I said, because of COVID getting a little bit better and things easing up a bit, it looks like things are going back to normal, which is great. We're all happy with that one. You know, of course, everybody's kind of, all the other industries which were affected by COVID are now getting a lot better, getting back on their feet. So where to look for those apprenticeships? So I would say job sites are really good. Now, as I said, I'm going to run you through some of those links which I want you to open up and register, okay? So general job websites such as Indeed, Reed, Total Jobs, those ones you can also find apprenticeships. Sector job sites, so again, do your research regarding the sector that you're looking in. That way you can narrow down those employers and apply directly. Company websites, again, if there's a particular employer you're interested in, you can go straight onto their website. They'll always have a career page that you can have a look and apply. If they don't have a career page, you can always get in touch through the contact us page and send them an email. That's worked really well for me, to be honest. Some of the students I have literally reached out to those employers. During the first lockdown, funnily enough, I had a student who managed to secure an apprenticeship through a pharmaceutical company. That's another one that, you know, during the first lockdown. So you can imagine that. I'm so proud of her for doing that. But yeah, she worked really hard for it. However, even though there was little number of those apprenticeships, she reached out to that pharmaceutical company and she managed to secure an apprenticeship. So that's really good. Social media, again, is another great place to look. So as I said yesterday, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, then create one, okay? You can follow those employees on LinkedIn and you can find out when their recruitment, because they tend to advertise on there as well. But also other sort of Twitter, Instagram, often they also advertise on there. So again, if you want to follow them, great. Make sure that your account is good and professional. Otherwise, you know, create a separate one for work, okay? So friends and family is also another good way of finding those jobs or those apprenticeships. If you talk to them, let them know that you're searching, you're looking for an apprenticeship or for a job, and they may know somebody that could advise through their company. So, you know, word of mouth is also another good way of finding those jobs and apprenticeships. And of course, there's the National Career Service website, which is really great, where there's help there all the time. You can have a look at all different careers. Again, we're going to explore that a little bit more in a little bit, okay? So remember that all the adverts are live, okay? So when you do see something online and you're interested, then go for it. You don't know when the closing, you know, you will tell you when the closing date is. However, bear in mind that if employers have a good number of applicants, they can close their applications early, okay? So give yourself plenty of time and don't leave it to the last minute. Those are live and they can come out at any time, and things change all the time. So the search that we're going to do today is probably going to be completely different from if you do it tomorrow. Okay, things change all the time. You can sign up to newsletters, job alerts, so then you can receive those emails. It saves you the trouble to search every single day. You can get an email coming through with what is available locally, and then you can apply for it when you see something that you like. Okay, don't wait to apply, as I said. Don't rush it either. You want to give yourself plenty of time. As we looked at yesterday, make sure you get that job spec up, look at all those buzzwords and add them into your application, okay? So adapt what we used yesterday into when you apply, okay? Apply for many. Competition is really high. I'll be completely honest with you. Lots of people are going for the apprenticeship route. A lot of people looking for new jobs. I even had apprentices in their 50s, okay, looking for apprenticeships because the situation, a lot of people lost their jobs. I'll be completely honest with you because of COVID. So now it's getting back into that work. So you're not only competing with other students, you're also competing with adults who have work experience, okay? So you really want to make sure that your CV, your application stands out. So take your time in filling it out and put as much detail as you can. And again, contact those companies. If you get in touch with them directly, just all you have to do is send out an email, just to say that you're interested in working for them, what kind of opportunities they have, what can they provide, and when does the recruitment start. And they'll get back to you and let you know. It's worked really well. I had a student in year 11, so a little bit younger than you guys, who was looking for an apprenticeship, and he sent out loads of emails around all the different, because he's looking for one in plumbing, and he went and searched all the plumbing companies around Cambridge, and he actually, because he's in Cambridge, and he's actually managed to secure work experience for the summer and potentially an apprenticeship depending on the grades they get on his GCSE. So if he can do it, you guys can do it too. Okay, you have nothing to lose by reaching out to these companies. And I tell you something, they actually like it more when you reach out. It shows enthusiasm, it shows that you are interested in working for them. So really, it's really worth doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this up just for a minute, just so you can have a look at it. This is the number for National Career Service. Again, we're gonna have a look at it in a little bit, but if you need any support, there's, you know, you have a great careers team in your school, in your college. However, If there's any additional support out of hours that you need, there's always them available to help as well, for any sort of CV questions, interview questions, apprenticeships, all sorts of different career stuff, okay? So they're always there to support. There's the number, and we'll have a look at the website in a minute. Okay, so if I come out of here, bear with me, I'm going to stop sharing and reshare my page, right? So any questions so far, everyone? How are we doing?
We're all good at the moment.
Okay, feel free to stop me, guys, because otherwise I can just go on and on and on. So if you have any questions, do stop me, okay? Now I'm going to need you to be a little bit proactive here, because I'm going to need you to open up a page. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I hope you can kind of split screen so you can see what you are doing and what I'm talking about. But pretty much what we're going to do now is register. So the first thing I'm going to need you all to do is to open up a new page, okay, and type in into the search bar amazingapprenticeships.com/FAA/, and you should come up with this page right here. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to do that now. Give me a thumbs up in the chat once you've done that, just so I know that you are there, and we'll go. So I'm going to take you step by step how to do a registration, okay? So give me a thumbs up when you're there. So that's amazingapprenticeships.com/FAA. Brilliant. I got a thumbs up. Thank you, Marcus. Sorry, I know it's probably a little bit annoying because you have to go from one screen to open up a new tab. I apologize about that. I'm quite lucky I have a second screen that I can look both, but sometimes that doesn't work and you need like 3. It's quite difficult, isn't it? But yeah, give me a thumbs up, everyone, once you're done. Are you all still there, guys?
Yeah, I think they're going. They're on it.
Yeah, I got a few thumbs up. Perfect. Yeah. So I'm just opening up the chat now. So it looks like most of us are on there now. Yep. Perfect. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Marcus. Perfect. So now that you're here, okay, so what you want to do is click your region, which we are in the south. So if you click on search now, it will open up a new page. Now, don't close this page here. Keep it open, okay? It will open up a new tab, which is this one here, which is the Find an Apprenticeship website. So this one is UK based. You can search for any apprenticeships throughout the UK. And what you want to do, if you haven't created one before, what you want to do is create a new account. That way you can really save anything that you find, and you can apply for any apprenticeships that you find on here. Now, this is a really good website because it's a really great starting point. As I said, it's UK based. It has all different sectors. I'll be honest with you, not everybody advertises on here, not every employer. However, a really good number of them do. So it's really worth starting your search from a big website like this one. It's completely secure. So all your information that you're filling out today, so your details such as your name, your date of birth, your contact details, these are all kept safe, because if you look, it will tell you to create a password. So that way you can only sort of log in, and the only way your information is shared is if you apply for something. Otherwise, your information is kept safe, okay? So please Give yourself a few minutes to fill this out. What will happen is once you've created your account, it will then go into an activation code. So you will, again, need to open a new tab with your emails and put the activation code. That way you can activate your account and you can start saving and applying, okay? So it might come through your mobile. However, most of the time it does come through an email address. So it's quite straightforward. And once you have created your account, it will come up with your name just at the top here. So it will say that you signed in. Now, guys, if you are not using your own computers and you're using school computers and you are creating an account or logging in, please make sure that you log out before you close the page so that the next person that uses that computer doesn't have access to your information. So that is for your own protection, okay? So let me know once you are all there. Or if you have any questions, guys, please type them in. But it looks like I feel like everybody's just getting on with creating this account, which is great. And then I'm going to show you how to search. Okay, so once you've created that account, you can start searching and potentially applying for anything that you find. Okay, so I'll give you 1 more minute. And don't worry, sometimes the activation code doesn't come through straight away. If it doesn't come through straight away, don't panic. Sometimes it takes a little while to come through. Sometimes it comes through straight away. It's one of those. It depends on how busy, how much traffic there is on the website, you see. Also, make sure you check your spam. Sometimes it goes into spam. So once you've activated your account, as I said, you will still have your name on it, even if you haven't activated your account. The only problem is you wouldn't be able to apply for anything unless you activate your account, okay? So do bear that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna carry on, but guys, continue registering and just listen to my voice as we go along. Hopefully you can have a quick look at what I'm doing as well as what you are doing if you have a split screen. So once you are logged in, okay, you can start your search. Now you can go straight on to clicking at the top here where it says find an apprenticeship. If you click on that, it will take you onto the search page, okay? So as I said, if you already have an account, all you have to do is log in. Once you've activated your account, you can click at the top and it will redirect you onto this page here, which is the find an apprenticeship search page. Right. So the first part, you've got 2 tabs here. You've got the search bar and the browse bar. Now the search bar, you can add keywords. So for example, if you're looking for business, or if you're looking for admin, marketing, whatever it is that you're looking for, I spelled that wrong as well, didn't I? So whatever it is that you're looking for, a particular employer or a reference number, I'll show you where the reference number is. You can type that straight in there. Now, if you are just looking and you're not sure what you like to do, you can leave that blank. The other thing I want you to bear in mind, everyone, is that when you put the name or a job title, you may be limited on the amount of things that come up on the search, okay? So I just want you to think about some employers may call the same role but differently. So for example, marketing, some people call it marketing, other people call it communication officer. So you know, if you put marketing, the communication one doesn't come through. So you kind of want to keep an open mind about that. There's some employers might call different, you know, by different titles, but then once you look at the job description, you will find that it is what you're looking for. So be careful with that one, but you can leave it blank if you want to. Then your location, your postcode, okay, it will automatically, as you are logged in, it should have your postcode down there already. And then within, so because I'm not logged in, I will just put, there we go, I'm going to put Ipswich in there. This is where we are at the moment. Okay, so within, okay, you got the miles. Now remember, this is mile in radius, okay, so it's around, so pretend you join a circle around where you are. and how far away you're willing to travel. Now, if you drive, I would say you can go as far as 20 miles. I wouldn't recommend to go any further than that. And if you are taking the public transport, you really need to think about how feasible that's going to be. Now, the other advice I want to give you all is that I wouldn't recommend to travel any further than sort of an hour and a half tops, because just remember, you're going to be doing that every day, there and back, on top of working and studying. So that is quite a lot, okay? So don't put too much pressure on yourself in finding something that is too far away. Try and stay a little bit closer, unless you're planning to move. But of course, if you're going to do that, you need to sort of be financially more sustainable to pay your bills and all of the other things, okay? So if you are commuting from home, then I would probably stick to around 20-mile radius, okay? The apprenticeship levels, you can pick the apprenticeship levels, or you can keep it at all levels. Just to remind you all what they are, what they stand for. Intermediate is level 2, which is equivalent to GCSEs. Advanced is equivalent to level 3s, so A levels and BTECs. Higher is a level 4, which is equivalent to first year or university or a diploma. And then, of course, you got the degree. So I would probably, all of you should be aiming at between advanced or higher, depending on what you're choosing to do. Or if you're starting from scratch, you may be looking at level 2. So if you're doing something completely different from what you've been doing in your level 3, you may want to start from a level 2 and work your way up. That is absolutely fine. The other thing I want to say is that you are not taking a step back. This is an investment for your future. So if you need to take a level 3, again, in a different field, but working your way up, then that's okay too, okay? As long as you're happy. So you can keep it at all levels if you want, so you can have a look at a mixture of level 3s and 4s, and only tick disability confident if you need that additional support, okay? Otherwise, you can leave that blank. So once you have done that, you can click search. Now, another way of searching, you can click on the browse button. Okay, so the browse button, you can see it's got all the different sort of sectors. So you can tick on a sector, so you can narrow it down, but it won't be as narrow as a particular job description or particular job title, you see. So I would probably say, if you're not sure, you can have a little bit of a look and see what kind of sectors you can explore. Okay, again, if you want to leave it completely blank so you can have a look at generally what is in the area, then you don't need to tick on anything. So some of you today, I would like you all to start doing that search now, and I'm sure you probably find different things from what I'm going to find, which is the funny thing, isn't it? So if I put that in there, so I'm going to search it. So there are 236 apprenticeships in Ipswich within the 20-mile radius, which is really good. Okay, so there's quite a lot, but remember, these are all levels, all different apprenticeships, okay? So then you have to start searching and looking through them a little bit more. Of course, if you have selected a specific sector or a particular job title, you'll find that there's a number which is a lot less than 236. So have a look. Now, you can see it's all listed for you, and you can pick how you want to sort that result. You can do it by closing date, distance, or recently added, okay? Also, what I want you to notice is that if you can't find anything today in your particular search, but you want to receive alerts, I would strongly recommend you to click on this button right here where it says receive alerts. That way you can receive emails when something new comes up. It saves you the trouble to do the same search every week, okay? So this gets refreshed all the time, usually weekly. However, I've noticed that it seems to change on a daily basis, so definitely worth having an alert set up. That way you can receive those emails, and it saves you from searching all the time, okay? So here, as you are logged in, just near the title of the apprenticeship, you should also have a little star as well. So if you do find something that you like, you can tick on that star. That way you can save it, and it will automatically save in your jobs in your account, and you can log back in and go back to your saved ones and apply for them. So the other thing I wanted also you to notice is that there's a journey time button on here. Okay, so it shows you a little map and it shows you the journey time. Now this one isn't a very good example because it's too close. So let's pick on one day is a little bit more. There's going to be a lot in town, so let's see how we can do this. Recently added. See, okay, so this one is a little bit further away. So we got this one here, which is 2.4 miles. Now, if you click on journey time, it actually tells you how long it would take you if you were to drive, if you were to take the bus, yeah, if you're walking, that's quite, or if you're cycling, yeah, that's not too bad, is it? 21 minutes on the bike. So if some of you don't have a driving license or you don't have a car and you're relying on public transport or you are biking or walking, then it's a good way to work it out to see whether it's, again, feasible for you to actually get there. Please, please, please don't rely on mum and dad, okay? They have their own responsibilities and their own jobs and things. So you need to show that you are responsible and independent. Therefore, you can make your own way there and back. Okay, so it is really worth looking at the logistics of it. The other thing I want you to remember is that if you are going to be using that, going on that train or that bus or using your car and using petrol, I want you to remember that even if you apply for a degree apprenticeship, you're not entitled to apply for a student loan or a student maintenance grant or, you know, all of those things, because those are only applicable if you go to university full time. So with the higher end degree apprenticeship, you will have to sustain yourself with what you earn from that employer. So you will have to pay for your own petrol, your own train tickets, your own buses tickets. You won't get any extra wage for that. Okay, so I want you to bear that in mind, and that's why you have to be so responsible and you have to make sure that it is feasible for you. Okay, so I hope everyone is also having a look as I'm talking you through this. So have a look and see what is available in your areas. You know, Ipswich is great. As you can see, is quite a big mile radius. So if you look at the map, you can see it's quite far away, and some of you are probably not going to want to travel all the way to Clacton, for example, but you know, some people might. So just try and have a look at what is feasible for you. Okay. How is everybody doing? Does anybody have any questions so far? How is the search, everyone?
We don't have any questions at the moment.
Okay. Everybody happy? Can I have a thumbs up from someone to tell me that you are happy with what I'm talking about at the moment? Just put it in the chat if you want. Happy? Great, lovely, thank you. Perfect, guys. Okay, so I'll let you carry on doing your searching, but as you are doing that, please do note what I'm doing as well. Okay, so I'm going to click on a random one just to show you as an example. So once you find something that you like and you click on it, okay, so somewhere that, again, we worked out the journey is perfect, you know, it looks like the right job title, great. Let's have a look into a bit more detail what this apprenticeship is about. So it will tell you at the top here, the title of your job role. It will then give you the option to save here as well and apply. So of course I'm not signed in, so I don't have that option, but otherwise I would be able to. And then here it tells you the closing date, okay? So make sure that you apply for that before the closing date. And don't forget, they might close early, so don't leave it too late. So as you scroll on the first part of this, you will find all the important information just on the left-hand side. So how much you get paid, the hours that you're going to be working, how long the apprenticeship is, the start date, yeah, the distance from your location, the type of level, okay, so whether it's a level 3, 4, so this one, for example, is a level 3, which is A-level equivalent, and you got the reference number as well. So if you can't save it because you haven't activated your account because it hasn't come through yet, what you can do is you can note the reference number. And remember the search, instead of putting down the job title, you can put the reference number, that way it pops up straight away. Okay, so that's another good way of looking for those specific ones. So if you do want to save some and you can't save them onto your account yet, you can just note the reference number. Okay, So in the middle part, it will tell you about what is involved on a day-to-day basis. So your duties and what is involved in the role. So have a really good look at that, because you are going to be doing it for the next 18 months, for example. So you want to make sure that you are happy and it is what you are looking for, okay? So have a really good read on that. If you're happy and you think, okay, this all sounds good, let's do it. You then scroll down and look at requirements and prospects. Now, some of you may remember this from yesterday, okay? So this is a bit like your specification and what the employer is looking for. So as we looked at yesterday, this is a crucial part of the sort of application, okay? In order to do a really good application, you need to read this information, okay? So what skills is the employer looking for? What qualities is the employer looking for? And don't forget to please highlight those particular keywords. So things like computer skills, yeah, that's a keyword, buzzword. You got initiative, so somebody who takes their own initiative, somebody who can work in a small team, yeah. Make sure that, you know, it says somebody who is able to ask questions, somebody who's enthusiastic, somebody who's willing to learn. So highlight those words and make sure you're trying to add them into your application and your CV in order to stand out. Then it tells you about your qualifications. This is really good because then it kind of helps you to see whether it's, again, something that is achievable for you. This one, for example, is looking, because it's a level 3, it's only asking you for GCSEs. Again, if you go for higher end degree, they may ask you for A levels or BTECs, okay? So have a look at that information as well. And then it tells you further information. Also, another really important part to read is the future prospects. What's going to happen at the end of your apprenticeship? Do you need to apply for a new higher apprenticeship? Are you going to move on and work for a different employer? Are you going to be given a permanent position? So it will kind of tell you here. So depending on the candidate, it could result in a full-time position. So if you do well and you work hard during your apprenticeship, they may offer you a permanent position. Often it tends to be the case, more than 90% of the time. Okay, but again, even if you don't stay, as long as you finish the apprenticeship, you get those qualifications, you can then go on and work for another employer and you'll be much more employable than if you didn't. Okay, so make sure that you read all the important information that they highlight. Okay, because again, it's important information to have. So once you've done all of that and you are happy with that, you then look at the employer, another really important aspect, okay? So you need to make sure that you have a good read about that employer. As I said to you, research is a must. So make sure that you have a really good read of that employer. There tends to be a website that you can search. So make sure you look on there, it tells you the address, it even gives you a map. So make sure you have a really good research about that employer, because as I said to you yesterday, during the interview, they will ask you, what do you know about us? You need to make sure that you are happy, because you're going to be working for them for a few years. So you don't want to work for somebody you don't like. You want to make sure that you are happy in that role, but also happy for that employer. So make sure you have a really good read, okay? And then once you're happy with that bit, you scroll further down and you look at the training provider. As I said to you, you don't get to pick this bit, okay? You don't. The training provider is provided by the employer. So you are applying to that employer, and then they will tell you who you're going to be studying, whether it's going to be a college, a university, a smaller training provider, in-house training, where it will be in the workplace. So there's lots of different ways where you can be doing your education side, and you don't get to pick it, okay? So make sure again that you have a read, because it may be somewhere that is a bit too far. So if you have a drop day, for example, here it says Colchester Institute. So if you feel, oh my gosh, that's going to be too far, there's usually a contact person as well that can help you and advise. They may be able to, you know, give you block periods rather than you know, a drop day every week. So there are ways that they can be flexible as well. So do get in touch if you have any questions, and make sure you read the Apprenticeship Standard, which again is the qualification that you will gain at the end of your apprenticeship. Okay, so this is all really important information. Before you apply, make sure you really read everything, okay? And make sure that you are happy. And you want to do that every time. I know it sounds long and you're thinking, oh my God, Fred, I'm going to be here all day. Actually, this is really important information that will help you with your application and your interview, okay? So have a really important read to, look through all of that. Okay, any questions with that one before we go on to the next one? Has anybody found anything has anybody saved anything that they found? Anybody? Not yet. Okay, thank you, Marcus. Not yet. Okay, let me know if you find anything and you save it. It would be really nice to hear if you found anything interesting while you're searching. Now, I'm going to show you another way of finding those apprenticeships. So with this one, which is your starting point, it's looking at those particular jobs, it's looking at the local area. Okay, there is another way. So if we go back to that initial page, so this one here, the FAA, AmazingApprenticeships.com, there is another way of finding those apprenticeships, which I'm probably gonna guess what I'm gonna say. Sorry, it's the wrong one. I clicked on the wrong one. So here are the resources if anybody was interested, but that's not what I was looking for. What I want you to do is, you see the 3 lines here at the top. I want you to click on those and go on to Vacancy Snapshot. Okay, so this is another way of looking for those apprenticeships. So what you do is on here, you will find some of the big employers. Now, it doesn't have everyone, of course, because otherwise we'll be here forever, but it's got some big employers who take on regularly a big cohort of apprentices per year. So it's worth looking at these employers. However, if there is a particular employer that you're interested in that is smaller, more local, then you go directly onto their website. But you kind of get the idea. The other way to look for those apprenticeships is to go directly to that employer. As I said, not everybody is going to be on the Find an Apprenticeship website. So you need to be quite creative in looking at those apprenticeships, find different ways of looking at those apprenticeships and those opportunities. Now, if there is a particular employer that you're interested in, what you do is you click on them and then I show you, I'll just pick a random example. Who should we pick on? So as I look at the NHS, if there's anything. So it will tell you here, when you click on that employer, it will ask you to read more, okay? And then it tells you here about the benefits of being an apprentice for them. So lots of great sort of holidays. You will receive holiday entitlement. It will go up. Career progression, annual leave, personal development. So all the benefits of why joining them. Okay. They also have all the social media links which you can go on. Again, you can follow them through there. It tells you a bit more information about the employer, so application hints and tips, behind the scenes. Often they'll have a video as well, where it tells you about the recruitment process and what you can do when you're applying. Okay, so it's all there. And then what you do is you click on time to apply. It comes up with this new page. And it actually puts them in a bit of a list kind of view. Okay, so here it tells you the employer, what kind of apprenticeships they have, the levels, okay, how many levels do they cover? So this one, the Army, for example, covers from level 2 all the way to level 6. And then location, okay, so the Army, of course, is going to be nationwide. A lot of them, because they're quite big, they tend to have lots of different chains all around the UK. So you'll find that quite a lot of these are nationwide. However, some of them are restricted to just some areas. For example, this one here. Hints and tips for applying. Again, you can look at those on there. So you click on there and then it tells you when the application window is open, which is really good because then it helps you. Okay, I want to apply for that particular employer. Do I know when I need to apply for? Okay, so for example, the Army, of course, is throughout the year. So anytime you go straight onto their website. So when you click on search now, it will then take you onto their website and you can apply and register through them directly. Okay. So let's go back. So rolling vacancies all year round, open now, closing soon. So if you go, for example, is closing soon, so you kind of want to go as quickly as possible. Some of them will tell you specifically throughout June, for example. So vacancies are live now, closing throughout June. So you want to have a look at that as well. Some of them will say open in October, open in September. So you kind of want to do that research yourself and have a look. And this is just a handful of employers compared to the amount of employers that there are out there. So as I said, if there is a particular employer, go onto their career page. So that's what you can do. So I want to give you an example of a local employer. You probably know this one is a bit famous. And I told you yesterday that one of the students I had for Stowmarket actually managed to get a degree apprenticeship for BT. So I'm sure you guys can do the same as well for another employer or the same employer. So they have a careers page. Okay, and they also have lots of information. Okay, so this is their apprenticeship page. So if you, again, Miss Austin, if you want to copy that link and put it in the chat, that's brilliant. So they can have a look. It's a really good website. It takes on quite a lot of students, takes on a lot of apprentices per year, and they have some amazing benefits. I've met loads of students that went on to work for BT, and it's fantastic. Loads of progression, lots of support, really good local company. Okay, on here actually tells you about the roles and you know, all the different opportunities. You know, it tells you about their apprentices and what their experience was, the application process. It literally is all there. And a lot of employers do that, okay? As I said to you earlier, Amazon was looking for apprentices as well. I think the closing date is gone now. However, they also have an apprenticeship page. And I know you think, oh, I don't want to go and work as a delivery driver. Well, no, they have marketing and business administration, business management, HR roles, you know, loads of communication, logistics, management and things like that. And I looked at the marketing apprenticeship for them, which was the lowest paid apprenticeship, and it was about just under £30,000 for a level 3 apprenticeship. Okay, so some of them are really, really good pay. I know BT also pays really well. It's around 18 to 20,000 a year as a starting salary. So some of them are really, really good pay. So it's really definitely worth that investment because you'll gain lots of work experience and an amazing salary as well. And as I said, you know, once you've completed your apprenticeship, you're very likely to be offered a permanent position, which will be on a much higher salary as well. So definitely worth the investment, isn't it? So have a look at those local employers. If, of course, you know, it's not, I don't want all of you to apply for BT. I want you to think about those employers and look at those particular sectors, do a bit of research. So what you can do is go on to Google and type in sort of the sector that you're interested in with apprenticeships and see what is available, what comes up, what employers come up, and then you can go onto their page, careers page, and get in touch with them, okay? If it's a smaller business, they may not have a career page. So as I said, they will always have a contact us page. So again, you can reach out by sending them an email, or you can give them a call, or you know, you can pop in and see them if it's a shop or a business where it's actually got an establishment, okay? So that's another way of looking for this apprenticeship, so reaching out to those employers. Another really good local one that would, again, strongly recommend to have a look at is the Apprenticeships Suffolk. It's a brilliant website. Every week they advertise for loads of new roles. And it's all local, so it has lots of local businesses which are a little bit smaller as well. It's definitely worth looking at them. They got lots of support on there as well, so you can ask as well. So for parents and carers out there, there's support and help on information, and also for you as an apprentice, you know, what do you need, you know, and that support, again, hints and tips and support. So if you look on the jobs page, again, it will tell you about what is available locally. And as I said, as you can see here, you got some smaller employers, not the big ones that we just looked at, but some of the smaller ones, which you can reach to, so that you can get in touch with and have a look at, which are really great. Again, these come out all the time. They refresh this every week. So definitely worth signing up. They have a newsletter that you can sign up to, and they can send you information every week as well. So you can see what is available locally. So that's a really good way, again, to look at what is available in Suffolk. Not everything is going to be Ipswich, of course, but there's some which are, so worth having a look. And again, you can get in touch with them. It's a really great team. They are lovely. That whole team, they're brilliant. So if you have any questions, get in touch with them because they are fantastic. And you know, they're all about the local support as well. So they want to help people get into apprenticeships and support those employers and support those apprentices. So they're really great. So do get in touch if you have any questions about them, and definitely sign up for that newsletter because it's great. I get that every week and it's fantastic. So definitely worth signing up for that one. So that's another way of looking at those sort of local, what is available locally, searching, reaching out to other providers as well. The other thing you can do is sector. So we looked at sector search. Okay, so for example, if I go on to you know, search, and you are searching specifically for the NHS, if you put NHS careers, okay, they actually have a page. Yeah, so for example, if you're looking for a specific sector such as the NHS, again, you can sign up and you can do a search and see what is available in you know, it's UK based. So again, if you can't find anything on the Gov website, you can go directly and search at that particular sector. So if you want to join the forces, again, they got their own website. So have a look at those particular specific sectors as well, because they can be really useful to find new stuff as well. And then, of course, lastly, the other place you can go is really, as I said to you at the beginning, which sounds crazy, but lots of apprenticeships can be found also on recruitment sites. Okay, so not just employment, you can also find apprenticeships on there too. So have a look at those sort of Indeed, Read, Total Jobs, Monster, I think. There's loads out there, so just, you know, do plenty of research, sign up for all of these, okay, so then you can receive as many emails, and then remember, guys, you can always opt out once you have found your perfect apprenticeship or your perfect job. You can always opt out, but for the time being, it's definitely worth applying. And again, I can't stress it enough, do create a LinkedIn account if you haven't done so already, because you know, you can upload your information, your CV, you can make yourself open to those employers, so then they can reach out to you. Okay, that's another way of doing it, advertising yourself, selling yourself. Yeah, you really want to stand out, so follow those employers on LinkedIn, make yourself stand out, create a beautiful account for yourself, and really advertise yourself with all of those great skills that you have that we looked at yesterday as well. So then that way you can promote yourself and you'll have employers reaching out to you instead. That's another way as well. So there you go. I just wanted to show you lots of different ways of looking for those apprenticeships, because many think, oh, you look at the government website and that's it. But as I said, there's loads of ways of doing it. So that's really it for me. Does anybody have any questions?
Just waiting to see if some come through.
Sorry, guys, I know it was a lot of information, and there's great. Thank you so much, Miss Austin, for putting all of the links through the chat. That way, you know, everybody can just copy and have a look at those links. They're brilliant. So really good. Make sure you have a look at all of that. I know you've got a lot of work now that you have to do, but you know, what we'll do next session, I hope you join me for the next one. We'll have a look at how to really sell yourself. So again, if you haven't created a LinkedIn account, let's do the next session so you can really learn how to sell yourself and promote yourself, and then you can go on and create that LinkedIn account and make yourself look like a superstar. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Alison. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Emma. I'm glad you all find it useful. So thank you all so much.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you ever so much, Fred.
No
You've
worries,
been
it was my
brilliant.
pleasure. And thank you to the guys that joined us today. And I'm so glad it was useful for all of them. So really good. And yeah, I look forward to our next session. That'll be fun.